everybody, and welcome to Maximum Libertarian right here on YouTube. I'm here. I'm Brian, and I'm joined today by the one and only Dean Davison. How are you
doing today?
Sounds good. I'm glad. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Got better than it's been, so can't complain.
Right.
Keep on trucking.
Right on. And if you haven't already, please go down below, subscribe to our channel. And hit the notification bell, and then what do, Dean?
They do something really important. They take something and smash that like button.
Right. Smash the like button and
share it too.
And share it too.
Or we'll have to violate the NAP.
What's that?
Or we might have to violate the non-aggression principle.
Right. And if you will, please also follow us on Twitter at WeAreMaxLib, and you can see that scrolling down below. All right, today's first and foremost, let's real quick, I want to go over here. As we all know, Dean Davison is on the ballot here in Virginia, so please go to his website, go to his Facebook page, go to his Twitter account. There it is right there, and we'll bring it up later on in the show too. Just please give him a little money, help him out. And you have anything to say real quick, Dean?
Pretty much that. We're going to start hitting places that are having events, and we'll be happy to see everybody out there. So, but the best thing you can do is if you can help out by a few dollars, dropping a few dollars, it'll help get more rack cards, get something like maybe some radio ads and and a billboard. That would be something I really would like to do if I get enough money to do it. So we can smash these two left and right individuals here in the 19th district and bring it back to an individual liberty type of county that it was at some point.
All right, that sounds good. All right, today's topic is the one and only Lebron James. I just saw this from Yahoo Sports. It says Lebron James' 2018 federal tax rate was triple of the Los Angeles Clippers billionaire owner. If you go down into the article, it says that it was slightly higher than Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers. Now, according to this, as you can see right here, it says James reported $124 million in income in 3 years and paid a federal rate tax of 35.9%. Ballmer, he made $656 million, and he paid $78 million in federal tax at a rate of 12%. What do you think about that, Dean?
Well, let's put it this way: there should be a different type of taxing rate. I think that's pretty pathetic that the owner is paying less tax than the actual individual here. There's a way to do it. There's a way to tax people correctly where it's based on what you consume, which is called the fair tax, which I think we're going to get into a little bit. But it's ridiculous. The owner is a corporation. It should be paying corporate tax. Well, really, let's be honest, as libertarians, we want to get rid of all the junk. But in the current tax system, it's corporate tax. And as an individual, LeBron James is paying more in tax than the corporation, which kind of sounds pretty rigged.
Well, let's first and foremost say Mr. James has always supported the big government policies. So he should be happy with paying a higher tax rate because he wants to make sure that the big government is funded properly.
Well, that'd be his fault then. He wants to do that. That's on him. He shouldn't be complaining at all about it if he wants to fund those big government programs and
correct
big socialist ideas that they have to continue to destroy our government and our freedom.
Now, if you look down here also, it talks about the way that the Clippers owner was able to get a lower tax rate is he had his accountants, probably not just accountant. He was able to write off things for losses when it comes to contracts of players, when it comes to losses on the purchasing the team. So in turn, what was happening was he was just using the law that was put in place by our dear leaders in Washington. You know what I'm saying? So in turn, it makes me angry and it kind of frustrates me. It's like, look, if I was able to hire a team of accountants to work the books for me, I would do it. Wouldn't you?
Pretty much.
Correct. And and I really do think that I mean, you make the money. It's your money. It's like J.G. Wentworth says, it's your money and you want it now,
And then you pay the incredibly high interest rates that they put on it.
Right. And so it says right here, it says like the tax cut, let's see, this was started, accounting practice was back in 2004 when then President George Bush, that allows pro sport team owners to vastly expand the scope of what they could and couldn't write off their tax returns. Someone who purchases a team or an asset is able to write off a whole host of things with the operation of the team, which includes player contracts. Which that seems really strange to me,
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if you go down here and it talks about the Carolina Panthers, and they just recently changed hands in 2018 and paid, he paid this individual, David Tepper, paid $2.2 billion for the team, which is pretty good, I guess. Do you watch football?
Oh, absolutely. Once in a while, it's not as much as I used to.
Right. Now, right here, this is where I think we should be doing a better job as libertarians. It says public opinion strongly favors taxing the rich at a higher rate. To pay Ballmer's, 2018 tax rate in perspective, and you can see it right here. It talks about 9,876 to 40,000 is 12%. Those who make over 40,000 to 85,000, you're about at 22%, and that's pretty much a good chance most people watching or who is pushing along in normal.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, it says the big reason why public opinion favors tax hole loopholes is similar to the ones that Ballmer and other professional team owners use to pay in less taxes. So I guess really what I'm saying on this is we should be telling people like, hey, once you get to a certain level, that's your money,
Exactly.
And just because they make more than you doesn't mean they should have to pay. As long as they're paying what everyone should do. Now let's go over to what real quick. I just want to show this since we're talking about professional sport team. Publicly funded stadiums for billionaires is a scam. And there we go with the Carolina Panthers. And he wants to have the public put in money to buy a new stadium for the Carolina Panthers. Now, if you have something to input there?
I mean, you're taking the taxpayers' money away. Most of the money should come from the actual owners who are trying to get this stadium there. They should have people that fundraise or do things to get that stadium. I don't think it needs to be being done with your taxpayer money.
Right. And if you look right here, it says this 1997 study shows a team which had received $200 million in taxpayer funding estimated a cost to the citizens of $14 million per year. In the first 5 years of its existing, the actual economic impact of the stadium was only valued at $3 million a year from the construction, resulting in a net loss to the city. And, I used to be a big believer that, hey, bring in a stadium and it's going to bring so much revenue because of the workers and the stadium and this and that. And it's actually a total lie that we've been force-fed. It's almost like saying that during World War II, when we're at war, we have because the banks funded the war, the lead up to the war, they fund the war, and then they fund the reconstruction. So really, there's only one group that's making the money there, and that's the big banks. And I'm not real keen on that. But you were talking earlier about one other thing that you said. Now, if they wanted to do something different, we as the Libertarians need to say, all right, look, let's all pay our fair share. We're all in agreement. So what was that thing that you were talking about?
It's called the fair tax.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Basically, the fair tax is a consumption tax. What that means is the more you consume, the more you'll pay in taxes. So if you're rich and you consume, I don't know, a whole lot of different products, you get taxed on that. That's called the fair tax. That's where the percentage that you're being taxed is based on the percentage that you're using. And if you're in a lower class people or people that are struggling to get by, your consumption is going to be a lot less, so your tax is going to be a lot less. It's all on how much you consume. But then again, someone in the lower end could consume a lot and still pay that fair share of tax, and a rich person could consume very little and pay their share. It's just a way to completely pay your bit of tax that you have consumed, the products or whatever you've consumed. So basically, it's pretty easy.
Right, and I think that's very simple for people to understand. If the rich will pay their fair share, the poor will pay their fair share, the middle class will pay their fair share. It is what you spend. And the one thing about it that you can sell it on is no one pays taxes up to the poverty level. So that's like 20-some $1,000.
Yep.
And then after that, if you don't make over 20-some $1,000, you're also going to you're not going to pay any taxes. But anyone after that, then you start to pay into, as Dean said, taxes. Now, what that will do is going to make the government have to tighten its belt, or either they're going to have to do two things. They're either going to have to tighten their belt, or number two, they're going to have to raise the taxes. And see, since everyone is in that one system, if it goes up 1%, if it goes up 20%, the poor, the middle class, and the rich will all be working in unison to say, take it back down.
Yep.
But see, right now, the way they got the system hooked up, the poor fights the middle class fights the rich, and the rich and middle class fight the poor. And we're just fighting in this circle. We're fighting each other when the individuals we should be looking at is in your local, state, and federal government. And I think one of the things that we could do is do the fair tax. Now,
absolutely.
I believe you do. It says you get a prebate, as you can see right there. So for basic necessities, this gives every legal resident household an advance refund at the beginning of each month, so they can purchase up to the poverty level at tax-free. And, why this isn't getting more attention, I don't know. But I think we should be bringing it out and letting people know, don't hate the rich guy. Don't hate the poor guy. Don't hate the middle class. We're not the enemies here, But there's a better way to do it, and the better way to do it would be the fair tax.
Fair tax is better than the tax we're dealing with now, which is all over the board.
So once again, I just wanted to point out LeBron James's CPA or his team of CPAs. They must be complete idiots, because I know LeBron James owns multiple businesses. I also know he's a big government guy because of the individuals that he supports. So hopefully he's not upset by the taxes that he's having to pay, nor should the reporter there who was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Are you looking something up?
Yeah, I was just seeing if there was something more on the fair tax and make it easier for somebody to look up, but it's taken too hard to find at this point. I was trying to look for a chart that I saw before.
Well, all you have to do is go to fairtax.org right there, and you would be able to see all the information.
There you go.
It's like fairtax.org. You can see it right there. And you go right there and you'll see.
Yeah, that was the thing. Which I remember seeing a chart on it, and it was a really cool chart, but I can't remember where I saw it at.
Right.
That's what I was looking for. But this site will explain it very well also.
Yeah, so say what is fair tax. So, all right. So we're at the 15-minute mark. I know we haven't done one of these in a while. And I know that here very soon I'm going to be changing studio locations, but that's a whole nother story. But that's all good. Maybe it's time to upgrade. And, but real quick, let's just talk about your candidacy and your campaign. So let's bring that up real quick.
Right now, you can obviously go to davisonfordelegate.com, go to Facebook, and go to Davison for Delegate 2021, or Twitter, Davison, the number 4, HOD19. I'm running the 19th Delegate District, which includes a good part of Bedford County, Botetourt County, Allegheny, and Covington and Clifton Forge. There's going to be events coming up, such as Centerfest in Bedford will be coming up in, I believe, September. But before that, there's some other things that I'm looking at. Daleville does they do concerts. So I'm thinking about, before people can actually go into the concert, in the public space, talking to some of the individuals prior to that, handing out information, getting people to understand my views, so they have something in their hand, so they understand why I'm running and what I'm running for, and what the major points is, and try to get more an idea of what people need in this district, because obviously the points that I'm making with farmers and stuff like that is a big need. It's something that was discussed a lot with a lot of different people. Mm-hmm. Broadband is obviously another one, with the schools not knowing if we have the situation where we have even a snowstorm now, they may start doing things online, so the need for broadband increases. And how do we keep the taxes lower on people if you want to put broadband in? That's where I went into the fire and EMS ground thing and explained that, which I can explain to further fashion. Obviously, making elections more fair, allowing us to have the same playing field as the Democrats, Republicans, and independents and Greens can jump into. I don't care. I think everybody that wants to seek and be on the ballot that has a party should be on the ballot and be able to discuss what they want to do and let the constituents make that decision at the end of the day.
Right.
Other than that, just like I said, going to be pumping up on events, going locations. Might decide to do some meet the candidate ideas coming up in this summer, and go from there, and just try to win in November to get the best undermining way to win in November. And the first thing that we started was I contacted both of Terry Austin and Wendy Roden, and Wendy likes the idea of talking in a forum situation or a debate situation. Of course, I'm waiting to hear back from Terry Austin, but he said something to the similarity that he probably would be interested in if somebody held it. So you may see an actual forum or debate come out of this, and I've asked for it because I think the only way that the actual constituents will see and fairly see what the difference is between every candidate is to see them in a forum or debate, discuss the issues that are going on in this district.
Right. All right. Well, that sounds good. So please go to his website, his Facebook page, his Twitter, like it and share it. Donate him some money if you don't mind. That'd be great. And as for us, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell,
smash the like button, and share it to your friends.
Right. And hey, if you want to share something else to your friends, share about the fair tax. I think that's the best route to go. If we've got a tax, you know what? That's what I support.
It ain't going to change. Let's put it this way. We're not going to be able to change the taxes overnight. The best way we can do is go to the fair tax first before we go to try to get something more, maybe like the flat tax. You have to go to the fair tax first. It can't be done overnight. And that's the biggest thing that people need to understand. Putting a Libertarian in office is going to get you to that location that you want to be, where you're more free and have more options with your money that you make. So please consider that when you go to the voting booth.
Absolutely. All right. So until next time, I'm Brian.
I'm Dean.
And we will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.